Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today is a very special video and I think it's going to be very cool. So today was the announcement on the 32 teams that are going to be competing in the Critical Ops 2022 World Championship, and I decided what a better way to kick it off than doing my predictions on a tier list of the top teams that I think have a chance to win. So I'll go through and explain all this, but first let me show you guys the tweet. So guys, here's my retweet on the actual tweet, which was here. These are all 32 of the teams that are competing in the 2022 World Champs, aka Worlds, and it's pretty stacked. I mean, every region has their favorites, and we're going to be going through the Tiermaker, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but if you guys do want to check out the tweet and more information about it, you can check out this tweet. I'll leave a link in the description. Anyways, back to the Tiermaker. So here I have made a Tiermaker, and if you guys want this, by the way, I'll put the Tiermaker link in the description as well. You guys can make your own tier list and let me know who you guys think is going to win. You could also just do it in the comments, comment down below who you think is going to win Worlds, and try not to be biased, because I obviously am participating, but I'm also making this list, so I'm not going to be biased. But without further ado, let's just get right into this. The first bottom list here is shouldn't be in Worlds, which I'm not actually going to put any team there. I just need an extra category, but we don't really need that category. I think all the teams are deserving of being here and competing in Worlds, so we're just going to keep it there. So the first list is won't make it out of So that means the second list here is won't make it out of round 1. Now to give you guys an idea, I'm going to show a picture on screen right now. This picture pretty much shows what the first round looks like. It's 2 groups per region, 8 teams per region, 2 groups of 4, and the top 2 teams in each group will move on to the next round. So the first round, the teams that I don't think will make it, well, let's start out with NA because I know NA the best. I just want to put the NA teams in the front here. I will say right from the get-go, the 4 teams on the left here, UE, Seminal, Xeno, and Team Phoenix, I think those are the 4 teams that will make it through round 1, and the 4 teams I don't think will make it through round 1 will be OS, Sentinels, IV, and Miracle. But I do have this Dark Horse category, which Dark Horses to me are the teams that I think could make it out of round 1, but I don't fully believe it yet. But if they do, then they'd be my Dark Horse to make a run. So I will say won't make it out of round 1. It's going to be IV and Miracle are the strong 2 contenders, as well as Sentinels from NA. Sentinels are actually really strong team with decent talent, but I just feel like they lack a little bit of experience, and they really haven't been playing lately. They haven't been in many tournaments or anything like that, so I feel like they've kind of just lost motivation maybe to play, and so I don't feel like they'll be making any runs here. IV have actually been able to upset Xeno recently. Oh, I think they upset Xeno at least. They may have lost, but it was like 13-12, but they didn't. My team personally, Team Phoenix, we beat them, I think, in 2 tournaments, 2-0, like 13-5 on both games, or 13-4 kind of score. So personally, they weren't that hard against us, but the fact they almost beat Xeno kind of makes me think they could be good. And the Miracle, I think, are the weakest team in NA, so I'm going to put them at the lowest. I think Sentinels I'll put at the 2. Again, I would put Sentinels maybe as a dark horse, but the fact that they haven't been playing lately, not really going to be a team. And IV has been playing well lately, so I'm going to keep them up at the highest in NA, but I don't think they'll make it out of round 1. And as I mentioned before, OS is the other team that I don't think will make it out of round 1 in NA, but I'm going to put them as a dark horse because there is a chance they could do it. 2 of my teammates, shout out Andrew and shout out Magic Map, those guys are GOATs, and they're both playing here, as well as Wisher, another one of my ex-teammates. So they have 3 really solid players. They also have like Corrupt, and I think they have Headshot still. They just have some really good players. Tickle's in there. They have a lot of talent, they just have no IGL, and that could be the problem for them, but they do have a lot of talented players, so maybe they make a run. Alright, so next up I have the EU teams here. Now EU is a little bit harder because I think there's even more teams than just top 4. To put in the teams that I don't think will make it out of round 1, firstly I'm going to put King's Revival. I don't actually know much about King's Revival, but I just don't see them as a strong team in EU, or at least as strong as some of the other teams. The next team I'm also going to put in there is actually going to be Amplified, and some people might question this. I believe Amplified was EU team, but now they got dropped and now they're in Amplified. I just don't think they're that strong as a team compared to the other teams that are competing. If you look at the other 6 teams, you got Exclusive, you got Invictus, you got Rain, you got E8, G9, and Hammers. All very big names and all very solid teams in the last few tournaments and stuff. And also based on Circuit Season 5, I think there are a lot of strong teams here. Now the teams that I'm going to put in the Dark Horse from EU is actually going to be E8, and I'm going to put them above OS. Definitely think they're better. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to put Amplified in the top of here. I'm going to put Kings above Miracle. No, again, I don't know much about Kings, and I don't know as much about Amplified. But yes, now we're going to put E8 in Dark Horse. And the reason I'm saying this is E8 has really fallen off, and they just picked up this new EU team, and it's not guaranteed that this new EU team is going to be as good as the old E8. I don't believe they have Noxic on this roster. They don't have a lot of their star players, literally star player. So I just feel like they're not as strong as they could have been, but I think they're still a good contender. I'm also going to put exclusives here because I don't think exclusives will be making it out of their round 1. They definitely have a chance, and they're a solid team, don't get me wrong. But my team, Team Phoenix, we just played against exclusives and Rain recently, and we lost to both of them in the players group stage, but both matches were 2-1, I believe, and we could have won 2-0 in both. We just kind of choked. So, in my opinion, both those teams were about equal, but Rain was slightly better, which is why I'm putting Rain in the top 4 VU. But now, let's move on to Asia. So honestly, guys, I think Asia will be the hardest region for me to really give my opinion and put them into a proper tier list. So if anybody knows a little bit better, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong about any of these teams. The teams that I'm going to say won't make it out of round 1, firstly is Crossfire. I don't really know Crossfire. I know Crossfire had an EU team, and now they have an Asia team. They dropped their EU team, I believe, and then picked up an Asia team. I'm also going to put Xilinx Reborn, I believe is what this team's called. I've never heard of them before. I've never heard of the name ever used before, so I think it's just a new name that they came up with. And I'm going to put them there. I don't think they'll make it out of round 1. Again, I don't know much about them. And the third team I'm going to put there is Team Ares. Again, I just don't know much about any of these teams. So I'm going to kind of leave them below NA because honestly, Asia, in my opinion, is one of the weaker regions right now. I just don't know much about them too, so it's not like they're bad teams, I just don't know much about them, and I'm going to leave them there. The fourth team I'm going to put in there is actually going to be the boys, and the boys actually played decent in the recent Circuit Season 5. I mean, they made it top 4, but I don't think they're as strong as a team as some of the other Asia teams right now, so I'm going to put them there. And finally, we're going to move on to South America. South America has been a little bit interesting lately. I think there's been a couple team changes, or team name changes at least, so I don't know all the teams right now, to be honest. I mean, some of them could be better than I think, but as for what I do know, the teams I don't think will qualify are going to be Axel, which I'm going to put them about there. And then there's two teams with Darkness in it. There's Team Darkness, and then there's like Darkness Esports or something. So Darkness Esports here, I'm going to put them towards the bottom. I'm going to put them like halfway there. I don't know much about them, and I don't think they're, as strong as a team. And then the Darkness, I'm going to put a little bit higher here. I think they're a little bit of a better team. I'm not, again, 100% sure. But those are the teams that I don't think will make it through round 1 in South America. Now, I am going to put Vega Series and Resurgence. I believe both of these two teams are strong, and they're kind of the two that I'm debating which one will make it through. Again, I don't know that much about them, but I'm going to put Resurgence as my dark horse team. I'm going to put them below one shot. I just don't think they're as strong as a team in SA right now, but I think they're a team that could make a run and could make it through their region. But anyways, that is going to leave us with 4 teams per region now. And now we get to the real stuff. We have the regional contenders and the top 4 contenders. So what top 4 contenders is literally the #1 seed in each region. And what the regional contenders are the 4 teams that I think will make it through, minus the team that's going to be in the top 4. So I guess we'll start with SA again. Now, SA is really, really easy for me. There's only one team that I can see winning in South America. Well, really 2 teams. I think it comes down between Blackout X and it comes down between EV. But for me, it's always going to be EV in the top 4. They're going to beat Blackout X, in my opinion, and make it. But the other 2 teams, Flawless and Vega Series, we should not count them out. I'm going to put Flawless as the 3 seed and then Vega Series as the 4 seed in South America. So that will look something like EV1, Blackout X2, Flawless 3, and Vega Series 4. Now moving on to Asia. This one is really, really tough again. I have Immense Gaming and Saints, which I want to put in there. But first, I'm going to put SX right here and Team Legacy just above them. Those are going to be my next 2 teams. The 4 seed is going to be SX, and the 3 seed is going to be Legacy for me. And now between Immense and Saints, which do I think will win? Currently, I'm leaning towards Immense because they just won Circuit Season 5, but knowing who Saints is way more experienced, and if it comes down to a regional play, I think Saints have the better chance to beat an EU team. I think they're more experienced, and I think I'm going to have to put them through. So Immense, I'm sorry, but you're going to be the 3 seed, which, by the way, I'm going to put it like this. So yeah, Blackout X 2 seed, Immense 2 seed. Flawless 3 seed, Team Legacy 3 seed, Vega Series 4 seed, SX 4 seed. Now, the EU teams is also not super hard in my opinion. I think Rain is by far going to be the 4 seed in EU. I think they'll be back and have a good run here, but I don't think they're going to be old Rain, as good as old Rain at least. So I'm going to put Invictus, obviously, is my favorites to win in EU, and honestly, they're my favorites to win the whole thing right now. I think they'll actually win it all. G9, in my opinion, is the 2 seed right now, and I think Hammers is going to be my 3 seed, but Hammers probably the best in, again, all here. I even think Hammers would be better than the 2 seeds here in these regions, but just because Only one of those teams can really make it through. We're going to put them down there. And finally, I have the NA Final 4 teams here. And this one's really hard for me because I don't want to be biased. First off, I don't want to be biased, right? And second off, I actually don't know who's going to win in NA. Like, NA is super, super tight between the top 4 teams. They're all really, really solid right now. And in scrims, one day Team Phoenix might beat Xeno, one day Seminal might beat UE, the next day UE's beating Xeno, next day Seminal's beating Phoenix. It's so chaotic, and like everybody can beat everybody. That's the thing, and it really just comes down to who's going to be having the better day, in my opinion. And I think it's going to come down to between Xeno and Seminal, honestly. I think those are the strongest 2 all-around teams right now, and that's not to say that UE or Phoenix won't be the #1 seed or won't win it all in NA, but I just feel like when it comes down to who's been playing the best over the last 4 or 5 months and who has the most international experience, I think it's going to be Xeno and Seminal that have those. So I'm actually going to put Seminal as a 3 seed though. I think there'll be a chance that they could win it, but I don't think they'll be the one. I'm going to put us as the 4 seed, and I'll put Team UE as the 1 seed in NA, or the 2 seed in NA rather. So guys, this is actually going to be my complete list here. So in the end, I have Invictus as the #1, I have EV as #2, I have Saints as #3, and I have Xeno as #4. Those are my top 4. I think that'll be the way that the teams finish. I think Invictus will win it all. I think EV will come in 2nd, and SN 3rd, and Xeno 4th. G9 is going to be the 2 in EU, Hammers will be the 3 in EU, and Rain will be the 4 in EU. Moving on to SA, I think it'll be Blackout X finishing 2 in SA. I think it'll be Flawless finishing #3 in SA, and I think it'll be Vegas Series finishing #4 in SA. In Asia, I think it'll be Immense #2. I think it'll be Team Legacy #3, and I think it'll be SX #4. And in North America, we have UE at #2, Seminal at #3, and Team Phoenix at #4. Now, I'd be interested to see if any of these dark horses too could make it a run up into the top 4 in the region. I think it's very possible for some of these teams to do so, but who knows? I mean, it's such a tight tournament, a lot of great teams, and I can't wait to get into action, to be playing and watching games. Just a reminder that it all starts November 2nd. If you guys want to tune in and watch, I think Mobile Esports will be streaming some of the games, and also Critical Ops Esports channel will be streaming some of the games. The first round won't be streamed as much, there'll be a couple feature games, but the second round is where the action starts, all on stream. So be sure to subscribe, like for more, let me know in the comments who you guys think is going to win, and that's it for this video. I'm sorry if it was kind of long, there's a lot to talk about in these teams, and I still probably have so much more to talk about, but I want to make it as short as possible. So that's it, that's my tier list, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace out.